Okay, 3, 2, 1, clap.
Oh, well, whatever. One more time. I usually clap on the numbers, but okay.
Right. Alright, I'll clap on the numbers then. 3, 2, 1, clap.
There. Okay, that should work.
There we go. That's just as good. How's it going, guys? And welcome to the Caiminds Podcast.
Caiminds Podcast.
I fucked up!
Under the sea.
Under the sea. Under the podcast internet sea. Something like that.
Shut up.
Anyway, thank you, everyone. I am Jamie the Comic, also known as Jamie Carty. Thank you for joining us again to the Caiminds Podcast.
Stop!
Caiminds Podcast, where we talk about everything that's gaming, anime, comics, and everything in between. We've been away for so long.
Too long.
I've been trying to get back for so long, but it's just been one of those things that things keep popping up and we just haven't
It's
been
a new
able to.
day. Yes, it is.
But it's going to be a new format, slightly. Not much. It's a new day, new hosts, except for me, because I'm just an old fucker.
Yeah.
But we're going to do something slightly differently. We're not going to just focus on the news like we used to. We're just going to talk about stuff that matters to us and stuff that's important
Sex,
to
drugs,
the
and
world.
rock and
That's
roll.
not necessarily news related. And yeah, I think they'll be better. And we've even got a new theme song. Did you like it? Tough. I paid $25 for it. We're keeping it. Right, so just for the people who do not know and who's joining us for the first time, I am Jamie. I am the head of Caiminds.com, content creator. I do review the shit on YouTube and Caiminds.com. I just manage a lot of stuff in Caiminds. I'm basically the behind the scenes guy. I'm the guy that if something fucks up, it's my fault. It's always my fault, even if it's not my fault. And next to me is Sophie, or Safie. She's my sister.
Yay.
My annoying little sister.
Piss off.
Yes. No.
Piss
That's
off.
Sophie's introducing.
Do you want to
herself.
introduce
Never
yourself?
mind.
Well. Anyway, I am the one that gives Jamie all of his amazing ideas. I am basically the one that is the funny one. Jamie does nothing except make the website and the videos. I practically do his content.
If I'm being honest, right, you give me the ideas that I already had in my mind. You just just basically confirm what I was thinking.
No.
Yes.
My ideas.
Nope, my ideas.
Is that going to be the subject of this podcast?
Peter, do you want to introduce yourself?
Jesus. I'm Tyranee or Peter, whatever. I'm the creator of the Let's Dub Project, a fan dubbing group on YouTube, and I'm happy to be here on this podcast, just shooting the breeze and stuff like that about things that I like.
So how did you start on YouTube, Peter?
I started doing Let's Plays of Pokemon hacks. And, yes, I know, we all had that time. And I'll give you the short version, considering we're very limited on time on this podcast. But I did those for about 1.5 2 years until I got sick of it. And then I decided to do a fan dub of the game Apologistus Ace Attorney instead. And that sort of evolved into this really large fan dubbing group that I created and I'm a part of with all these talented voice actors, including Jamie, where we run tons and tons of different series at the same time on the Let's Dub Project channel. So come check us out. It's worth it.
Ish.
Yay, advertising.
Advertising. Right, so let's not waste any time. Let's start with the first topic of the day. Sophie.
Well, I thought that because with the new release of like the new Beauty and the Beast movie that's coming out,
It's going to be shit. It's a remake. Let's face it.
Well, coming out, it's already out. I've heard good things. Josh Gad? So anyway, with the new release of the Beauty and the Beast remake, I've been thinking about how most of the films which are being released now or are going to be released are either remakes, adaptations of either real life events, books, past movies from different countries, etc., and sequels. And I just feel how it's a shame that most of the original narratives and the original stories aren't being as popularized as most of the mainstream movies are. There are so many good films which are originals. For example, for the newest films, the film Split is an original film, and that's gotten so many good reviews from different critics and people, and it's just a good story in general.
Despite it being directed by M. Night Shyamalan, of course.
Oh, come on.
He does
he's gone
decent
through
things.
he's gone through a rough patch, but everyone goes through a rough patch.
Fair enough. He went through a rough patch for a long time, though.
Bless him.
Poor M. Night Shyamalan. Ask me what it means! Ask me what it means! The plots.
He's like that very confused emo kid who doesn't know what his own life means.
And every once in a while, he writes something cool.
And I looked at a list of top 10 films to watch this year, and what I found is that literally every single one in this list which I found are either a sequel or an adaptation. So I've got War of the Planet of the Apes, obviously a sequel, Kong and Skull Island? What?
Skull Island, which is basically a sequel / remake / adaptation. It's a mixture of all three, isn't it? It's like...
It's non-original, let's put it that way.
Yeah, but because you've been to watch it and you said there's references to the original people.
I didn't see all of it because the fucking power cut out 30 minutes towards the end of the film, and I still haven't got to see that 30 minutes.
Well, we'll watch it when it comes out on DVD. I'll buy it.
Thank you.
Yeah, you should. It's actually a really fun movie with some interesting
Even though
performances
it's exactly like Godzilla, but with Kong.
Well, okay, well,
But
I
it's a
won't spoil
monkey.
anything, because you guys didn't see the last 30 minutes of the movie, but that Godzilla thing is funny you say that. Anyhow.
Sorry.
And including this list is new Star Wars coming out, The Beauty and the Beast, Trainspotting 2, new Guardians of the Galaxy, the new Alien film, Transformers, Dunkirk, which is based off the real-life event, and the Kingsman sequel.
There's a Kingsman sequel? I didn't know that.
Yeah,
That's
the
awesome.
Golden Circle. It's coming out this year.
Yeah.
Sometime.
Did you...
November.
I did not know about this, but did you know The Kingsman is based on a Marvel comic?
No, I had no
I knew
clue.
it was based off a graphic novel, but I didn't know it was based off Marvel.
Yeah, well, Marvel has one of those, like, sub-directory companies where they have, like, an indie scene, just so they can, like, say, oh, yeah, we're going to let this indie company just thrive on their own and try and bring original content without hiding the fact that it's just a Marvel-owned property. But, yeah, Kingsman is a decent thing.
It's a really good film. And, like...
Yeah, see, the thing about Kingsman for me is that, like, I really enjoyed the film, but the one thing I had a small gripe about, and I had the same gripe with Kick-Ass, which is, of course, you know, by the same people pretty much, in that it's sometimes violent and vulgar, like, without really much of a purpose other than being violent and vulgar. You know, that was my small gripe with the film. I had the same gripe with Kick-Ass, but anyhow...
I mean, Kick-Ass...
I didn't enjoy Kick-Ass.
No, I didn't enjoy Kick-Ass,
thought
but
it
that
was
was owned by Marvel as well, so... But, yeah, everything that's coming out this year, or has came out last year, is just been, like you said, adaptation or sequel. There's nothing original. I mean, I remember where...
The only original that's coming out this year is Boss Baby, and that looks actually quite funny. It's
No.
got Alec Baldwin.
Boss Baby is utter shite.
I want to go watch it just for Alec Baldwin.
It
as
is.
a
You
baby.
know, to be honest, Boss Baby, you know, when I saw the trailer the first time, I had a little bit of hope for it, and then the ratings came out, and that pretty much died.
I mean, it's like, you hear these movies where, if it's a good movie, the trailer, and even the radio trailers make it sound interesting. They make it sound really exciting and funny. But
and
for
then critics happen.
Yeah, exactly. And then when Boss Baby comes out, especially on the radio, it's like, this summer, a baby is born. And he means business.
Alec
I want
Baldwin.
a latte right now. Alec Baldwin is
A baby.
a baby rated PG-13.
Starring Rob Schneider.
References!
Rob Schneider is a boss baby.
And that's exactly what it is. If a movie's going to be good, you do not need the trailer movie voice to go, this summer, this
It's just
baby.
so cheesy. I think it's so funny when they still have that trailer voice. Because it's like, it's meant to be, maybe meant to be taken seriously. but you never take it seriously anymore.
It
Like,
never-
maybe when it was first happening, it was like, oh my god, that's amazing, it's so epic. Now it's just like...
It's very cliched
There's a
nowadays,
baby
yeah.
who means business. He went doo-doo when he was doing the business. I've
That was a
Red
dumb
Schneider is that baby's doo-doo. Coming this summer.
So, but yeah, looking back this year compared to something like 15 years ago, there was like, but even 15 years ago, most of the top 10 movies were just, they were sequels and adaptations. So
I can understand why sequels are made, obviously, for like...
Oh, yeah.
Because if a film's successful, then obviously you want to make more money off the franchise, but I just think it's a shame when it's being milked the way it is. Like, what also is annoying me now is that how you kind of know that they're running out of ideas.
yeah.
Because there are sequels, like the Triple X Return of Xander Cave?
Xander
That's
Cage,
it.
yeah.
The first film came out 15 years ago, and the second film came out 12 years ago.
Look at Jumanji. That
Yeah.
came out, what, 25 years ago
And now
now?
they're remaking it, just like,
Jumanji, yeah.
hey, original idea, guys.
Well, it's Jumanji hasn't been advertised well. They haven't said it's a sequel.
I've hardly
but
seen
they have...
anything about it, to be honest.
Exactly, but they haven't advertised or announced it's a sequel, but they haven't
Well,
announced it's a remake either. I mean, we all know Jumanji is
isn't,
going to be based on a video game this time around. So, but there's still the illusion.
isn't The Rock going to be in
Oh
it?
Yeah.
yeah, but he's one of the main characters.
He's the main character, I
Of
think.
course he is. It's The Rock. But I remember I can't remember what year it was, but The Artist, 2009, maybe 2008.
I have it here
Oh,
in my
do you?
notes. It was 2011.
Ooh, close. But The Artist was a really, really good movie. For those of you who haven't seen it, it's basically a black and white movie, 4:3, and silent. And the whole point of it is you're going back to a time where it was just a black and white. It was just, all it was pianos playing in the background for the audio. And you go through the struggles of this character who is struggling to go from black and white, not black and white, to from silent movies to the talkies, as they were called back in the day. And you feel the struggle because when it actually happens, you just feel, wow, that it's weird actually hearing this guy. You wouldn't think he sounded like that.
It was a real struggle as well, because I remember hearing about Charlie Chaplin. He really struggled, like Modern Times was his first talkie,
Yeah.
I believe, and the only thing you ever heard from him was him singing, and that was a song which was complete nonsense. He just made it up.
Yeah.
But everything else.
Well, that was Charlie Chaplin's style, though, and Modern Times still ended up being one of the best movies
It's
ever.
really good, actually.
Yeah,
but
and didn't the artist win
It did.
Best
It
Picture?
made because the profit was not profit. The budget originally was $1.5 million, and the box office was $1.4 million.
Is that domestic or
Domestic.
Oh, right. So it was just in the country. But then again, in those days, they didn't really.
It's still
they
a
couldn't-
loss, though.
Yeah, they couldn't account for international. So
Yeah.
if it was released internationally,
But the thing is that the main reason why it made a loss is because of the political messages it had in it. It was quite a political film,
oh right.
really, because it was basically Chaplin saying, "Fuck machines, dude, am I right?"
Oh, was that the movie where he had a speech?
No, that was The Great Dictator.
Oh, The Great Dictator. Because
That's another one of the greatest movies of all time.
I've only seen the only movie of Charlie Chaplin I've seen is that clip on YouTube where it's like
It's
the
so
great
good.
speech of all time.
Gives me chills every time.
Gives you chills every time.
Because Modern Times is basically the one where he's in a factory and he goes insane because of it, and he's turned into a machine.
But when you think about it, it's like those movies were great back in the day. Both of you agree that it is a really good movie, but it wouldn't make any money these days.
Oh, I don't know, because it's shown in really old films such as Modern Times.
Okay, but
Another really popular one is
it was
Citizen
made
Kane.
this year. Imagine it was a completely original-ish idea. Not by Charlie Chaplin, nothing to do with him, not even the same company, but someone different. Would a movie like that make a profit these years? Exactly, it wouldn't make a profit because
I feel like most
not at all.
people have kind of adapted to the action types, so Avengers, stuff like that, like Fast and Furious. Like, people have adapted to that now, so I think that's what they're expecting.
But when movies...
Nobody has time for, like, political movies anymore, you know? It's usually seen more as propaganda if somebody's got a political movie going, because most of them are that come out these days, you know? Freaking Dinesh D'Souza coming out with whatever Democratic President's America, like, 3 times.
I feel like some
every
political films are, like, the
years.
ones that are some, like, success, like, at the Oscars, for example.
But then the people who run by... who announce the winners at the Oscars are just, like, old people anyway. I mean... That's not me being stereotypical. It is legitimate fact that...
It's like, we're not saying they're not good films, but we're just saying, like, why these types of films are getting more recognition than some other films.
Yeah, I mean, Avengers, prime example. Well, any comic book movie, it's got a wide audience. Everyone can go watch it. It's not something that's got a lot of swearing. It's not got... it has got violence, but it's very toned down. It's very PG-13. Or in this case, 12A in England. So, but they pander to everyone. And when cinema was first came out, it was just to get people away from the Great Depression. People would go to the movies just to get away from the financial crash, to get away from the war. They just want an outlet just to enjoy, sit down and forget about the world around them. So, but these days we don't have room for movies that talk about political standpoints.
I feel like we're kind of sugarcoating everything, like with films now.
In what way?
Like,
to be honest, the last real political film I saw was Idiocracy, and that was pretty freaky. That was just because it was really freaking funny.
I think the last political movie I watched was The Election.
Like, I know...
Will Ferrell and that shit. Yeah.
The Election with Will Ferrell? Was that an actual movie, or are you making a...
Oh, sorry, the campaign.
Oh, you're talking about the campaign. I thought you were making a joke, like the American election was...
What if I was? But movies back then could be literally about everything. They could be comic book movies. They could be political. People did not see that as a way like, oh, what do I fancy today? They did not have much choice. It was either, what am I going to do today? Am I going to go to the pictures and watch a movie, or am I just going to walk around because there's no TV or radio these days? Okay, let's go to the cinema. I'll watch whatever. But these days, there's so many movies. You can literally choose from 20 movies per cinema these days. So you've got plenty of choice. There's not a market for political movies these days. I mean,
they're mostly shown, like, and if they are political films, they're always, like, mostly shown in art house cinemas, though, aren't they?
Exactly. But when...
Okay, so I would say that you say there's no audience for political films, and I'd say that's correct for purely political films, but political films have taken a different tone these days. For example, there have been plenty of quote-unquote political films that have won Oscars.
They win Oscars because the people who rate these movies, people who review these movies, people who nominate and give the awards to these movies are people that they pander to. I mean, I wasn't kidding when I said, like, the people who monitor the Oscars are in their 60s, because it's true. They had to bring, how much was it? I think it was about 50 or 40 extra critics in for this, or the last Oscars, just so they could have quote-unquote diversity when picking their movies. I mean, you laugh now, but it's true.
I know.
Everyone on the committee was, like, white, middle-aged...
Oscars so white.
Yeah, Oscars so white, middle-aged fat men. It's true, because it's like... Those movies pander to them. I watched a movie when I was in college called Winter's Bone. That is the most boring movie I've ever seen in my life.
That was Jennifer Lawrence, right?
It was just basically about this farm girl getting raped. Yeah, exactly.
Played by Jennifer Lawrence, right?
And it was about this girl getting raped and her dealing with the side effects of her being raped by her, I think it was father or stepfather, I can't remember. I was so bored, I fell asleep. And they were talking. I mean, I'm not saying that movies can't just be talking. I like movies that have a political standpoint, but when It's got nothing going on, but how do you feel today? I don't feel anything today. I just want you to leave me alone. That's what it was her trying to hide away, and then eventually it's like, I'm not going to take this shit anymore! I'm going to report you! The end. Before he even got it, and she killed him. So, it's not a good movie. But, you've got three acts. You've got the beginning, middle, end, obviously. The beginning is setting up. The middle is to the climax, and the climax is a resolution. I mean, I know that sounds straightforward, but many movies...
Disequilibrium, conclusion.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that sounds very straightforward, but movies that are trying to break away from that mold do not understand that. They think, oh yeah, we need to make it edgy, but without realising that they need to tell a coherent story that's interesting to the viewers, not just something that deals with a political or a moral choice in life. You know what I mean? So, but these Oscar committee just look past that and go, oh, it's about rape. Oh, it's a true life story. Ah, it's a biography. It must be good. I mean, look at
So just because it's based off like a real life thing, or just because it has real life issues, it doesn't mean it's a good narrative.
Exactly. I mean, there's been two jobs. There's been two movies based on Steve Jobs. The first one did shit. And critically, but it still was nominated for many awards in various award ceremonies. And then the second one came out, it was instantly recognised as like, oh yes, this is a good movie. Why? Because it came out close to award season.
And it's mostly because Michael Fassbender makes a way better Steve Jobs than Ashton Kutcher does, to be honest.
But yeah,
jeez.
There's just a huge demographic these days. There's a huge audience, and movies those days that was popular those days do not have a place.
I know.
So they need to be sequels. They need to be remakes because that is what makes money. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing. It just means that I'm starting to get sick of comic book movies, and that's true. I'm very bored of it now. Don't you agree?
There are I feel like there's so much happening, because it was like last year there was so many like comic book films, weren't there? There was like Batman vs Superman.
And there's going to be 7 this year?
Yeah, like there's just so much happening. I feel like maybe if they spaced out a little bit, I love the films. I love every single one that I've seen. But like I feel like there's too much happening at once, and they're throwing so much at us, and it's just like, let us breathe, please.
We need to rest.
I cannot afford this.
I was looking at work during my spare time because we had nothing to do at work. But yeah, I was just looking at the Marvel Cinematic Universe and the storylines, and I remember thinking to myself, I'm so bored of this now.
I'm so excited for the new films coming out. I really am, but I just feel like
I don't even watch the comic book TV shows. I don't watch
the TV shows
Arrow or The Flash because I'm sick of it. I need the movies because they're a break, but there's no originality these days because
they don't.
It doesn't sell.
There are like the Grand Budapest Hotel was obviously
it was
originally like an indie film, wasn't it?
Yeah,
it was so good.
That was a fantastic
movie. That's a very rare occasion where they make a profit.
Film as well. Cinematography.
Yeah. But it's a very rare occasion where it makes a profit.
It did really well.
Yeah.
So do you guys feel that the Best Picture nominations for the Oscars the past few years haven't really hit their mark
the
that
only
well?
one for Best Picture that I heard of was La La Land. I had never heard of anything else that was nominated.
Okay, well, to be fair, I don't want to open a can of worms here, but I personally thought La La Land was better than Moonlight, but I could understand why Moonlight won, because it was a good movie, in my opinion. And it was also very... I did watch it, though, and think, well, this is, a movie about a gay black man living his life. I mean, that's... Hollywood loves that. Of course, they're going to eat that up and make that Best Picture.
For many awards, and it won many awards, and it got 5-star reviews, but if you watch it, the only thing it really did different was it looked like it was shot on one take. That's the only thing that had going for it. Oh yeah, no, I know
most of it was
but
actually
there was breaks in it, but
most
it
of it
was
actually
pretty much shot in one take, and that's the only thing it had going with it. The story was pretty average, but because it was based on true life events, well, they say it's based on true life event. We pretty much know it's sort of based on Keaton's Batman. There's some undertone in it, but yeah, there's nothing going for that. I watched it. I enjoyed it. Don't get me wrong, I enjoyed it, but I don't think it was worthy of the nominations it got, if much.
I liked it a lot, and that was a year that they had a lot of good movies come out, as far as I remember. I mean, they had the Les Mis Hugh Jackman movie came out that year, if I'm not mistaken. I know there was a lot of mixed reaction on that movie, but I absolutely loved it. I thought it was fantastic.
Right, so shall we move on to Peter's topic? Peter, what's your topic?
Oh, more movies, of course. I've been taking the last month or so just to catch up on all the good movies I haven't seen before bed. And let's see, I recently watched, a lot of these are Best Picture nominations. Like, I'm getting these mostly from like the top 50 to 100 on IMDb. I've watched Silence of the Lambs for the first time a few weeks ago. Yes. And I thought that, honestly, it was probably one of the greatest movies I've ever seen. And it's one of those where I watched it.
One of the greatest movies you've ever seen, yet it was based on a book. It was an adaptation.
Yeah.
I watched it and I was just like, I don't know whether it was because like it was quite an old film when I watched it, but it was I don't know how I feel about it. It's like one of those films that's like, no.
Chill. Yes, you don't know.
So here's the thing. Here's the thing about Silence of the Lambs. The more I find out about the movie through like articles and stuff like that, the more I like it, because there's just such depth to that movie. Like, the movie itself was supposed to actually be about the male gaze. And the main character, you know, the detective lady, she was supposed to be the one that came out of this whole thing where people were like, oh, that's awesome, I want to see her in more movies. Unfortunately, it didn't work out that way, and it was Hannibal Lecter that everybody wanted to see in more movies. But no, I mean, from beginning to end, there's all these just little subtle things that just refer to the male gaze. Like, even, I won't spoil the movie, but even at the end when the bad guy is looking through her through night vision, I mean, that's like the thing at the end that refers to the topic that they're speaking of right at the end. See, the performances were just so good.
You were saying, Peter, what type of list was it?
What do you mean, as far as?
Like you said, you were going through the IMDb. Was it of all time, or was it
the top 250 of all time is what I was looking at.
Oh, just of all time. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, carry on.
Oh, yeah, that's okay. Silence of the Lambs was up there, but yeah, no, I think it's fascinating. And that was one of those movies as well where they were about... I'm usually actually pretty good at guessing twists in movies, but there were 2 or 3 in that movie that happened that I was like, what? No freaking way. And I won't spoil it, but I'll say the biggest one has to do with an ambulance. An ambulance and an escape. That's all I'll say, for the sake of not spoiling anything.
What ambulance? I want to know now. You two seem to know. What?
Watch the film.
What film is it?
Silence of the Lambs.
Oh, sorry. Oh, no, I've seen it before.
Well, I can tell you about it after the podcast, but you'll probably remember it when you hear about it. Yeah. God, what else did I watch? I watched Saving Private Ryan the other night, which was a fantastic performance all around by Tom Hanks, and it had a young Bryan Cranston and a young Vin Diesel in it. And also the really weird scientist guy from Lost was in it, the one with the long black hair.
That was a really good movie, and back in the day there was nothing like it. Obviously there's World War II, but the cinematography in that movie was so top notch that it got so many awards, and because it got so many awards for that alone, more people started recognizing it and go, oh, well, what's this movie that's got more awards? And then it doesn't matter how bad the movie is if it's got some sort of recognition. I mean, look at Suicide Squad, for example.
That won Best Makeup.
Yeah, it was Best Makeup, and the people who nominated it, the people who were watching the award ceremony, most of them didn't even know what Suicide Squad was. And then the sales for that movie skyrocketed, or at least the search engines skyrocketed after that. It's like, what the fuck is Suicide Squad? Let's go to Google.
Well, see, people didn't understand.
Wow, that's a human crocodile. Best makeup.
People didn't understand why it won Best Makeup.
It looks like she's been choking to death.
Wow, tattoos. Brilliant.
Well, I'll say one thing about
diversity. Trying to appeal to the younger audience by nominating that for a
We
category
need
no one wanted.
young'uns.
Exactly. No one cares about makeup these days. Well, I'm
Certain
sure there's
makeup
some people.
artists.
Yeah, I'm sure some people do, but like they don't. Who pays attention to categories like that?
Like when Oscars are on the TV and like makeup or something like that comes on, that's when everyone goes up and gets like slapped.
Mostly. So going back
Exactly.
to Saving Private Ryan, I have one thing to say about that movie, and that was that it was American as fuck.
America.
Like they did not skimp on showing the American flag whenever they could in that movie. And to be honest, like I will say though that Hacksaw Ridge is probably a good modern day equivalent to it. Like that movie was really fantastic too, but it was the same kind of thing. World War II, special stories, American flags everywhere. Please God, I have to save 110 people. God, I don't even know how we did that, but anyways, that was just American war movies in general. I mean, you have your good ones and bad ones, but it seems to me like there's
Hello.
Which one? What?
Hello.
Oh, can you hear
Are
me?
you still there?
I'm
Wait, one second.
here. Can you hear me?
Hello.
How are you? I was
Is it me you're looking for?
Shut.
Okay.
Is it dead?
Or audio.
Okay, I just realized my internet went out again. I'm back.
Still there? Are you
Can you hear
still
me?
there?
Can you hear me?
Oh yeah, I can
Oh,
hear you
there.
now.
Okay.
And you're gone.
Okay, now you should be able to hear me because my internet went out again.
All right.
So where did I cut off?
Yeah, just start from the beginning.
Hacksaw Ridge.
Hacksaw Ridge. Okay, so Hacksaw Ridge is actually pretty much the modern day equivalent of Saving Private Ryan because it's like, World War II story, guy saves everybody, it's interesting, American flags waving everywhere, please God, let me save 10,000 people by myself, that kind of thing, which is freaking insane. But that was a really good movie too, and the thing about American war movies is like, I feel like there's more good ones than bad ones, funny enough, like at least that I've seen. I can't think of a American war movie off the top of my head that has not been at least decent, honestly. They do a pretty good job with those.
There is a movie, I'm just trying to think of it. Fury. Fury is a really good movie.
I enjoyed Fury, yeah. Fury reminded me a lot of Saving Private Ryan, too, funny enough.
So there was Fury, there was, obviously, Saving Private Ryan, American Sniper.
Hacksaw Ridge, yeah. American Sniper I haven't seen.
Platoon, what was the one?
Oh, Zero Dark 30. That was a war movie. Well, kind of a war movie that I was just meh about. I wasn't too big on Zero Dark 30.
Never heard of it, to be honest.
Oh, it's the movie about SEAL Team 6 going to kill Osama bin Laden.
Oh, right, okay. And
It won a few awards that year, but to be honest, it's like I don't really like historical movies where you already kind of know what's going to happen at the end.
Yeah.
And that was kind of when I saw Lincoln, I absolutely loved Lincoln, but I knew what was going to happen at the end. It's like, spoilers, Lincoln dies. Oh, goodness. But that was one of those few movies that actually did that scene, the ending scene that you expected pretty well, because it knew, everybody knew what was going to happen at the end.
How do you feel about Jarhead? Have you ever seen that?
I have not seen Jarhead.
Jarhead.
Who directed that one?
The one who Sam Mendes.
I've heard
Was
that
John Cena in it, or am I thinking of the Marine?
And his name is John Cena. Sorry, no, it had Jamie Foxx in it.
Oh, okay, Jamie Foxx.
Mm.
Your brother from another mother. Gotcha.
But yeah, that was a good movie. But what do you consider more American? The fact that they're representing their country, or the fact that the soldiers are American? Because Jarhead was more of a case like how soldiers are in Afghanistan and Iraq at the time. So it's like, yeah, we're
Does
men.
it depend who started the war?
Sorry?
Does it depend who started the war?
No, Jarhead was more...
Dick Cheney made money off the Iraq War.
No, Jarhead was more... Of a
Laura
movie
Bush
about, like,
killed a man.
But it was more of a movie about what the guys were like in Afghanistan and Iraq.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, like, Black Hawk Down was about a mission and soldiers going to rescue their men. Jarhead was more of like, yeah, we're men's men. Let's go and kill some people. Yo. But do you consider that a good American movie when it's just guys being guys? in war? Or do you think it's more of like, yeah, we're representing our country, we are going to take down the terrorists?
The second one is more of an American movie. Like, I mean, there's advantages to showing the everyday American soldier, but if you're representing it with, let's kill some guys, blah, 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 I don't think that's very representative of America, to be honest. I wouldn't want America being represented that way, at least.
Oh, yeah, no, I'm not saying
as an
that.
American, of course.
I mean, obviously there was stuff like that, but it was more... It was more just seeing how... I don't know where I'm going with this, to be honest.
I don't know where you're going.
No, it was more like the soldiers representing their country and the extremes they will go, but also like them having fun working their lives, because it is a stressful job, isn't it? I mean, we know.
Okay, so it's sort of like showing the everyday American soldier and what they go through and that kind of stuff. It's realistic, is what you're saying,
exactly.
Right?
It's more realistic. I mean, you don't see soldiers going out, yeah, I'm going to kill people because that's what America wants. You go out there because, yeah, it's a job. I'm going to kill some people. Yeah. The end.
Well, I still think the first one is more representative of America, but I could see the definite advantages of showing the reality of what it's like to be an everyday American soldier in Iraq,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's no, you don't want to go, it's tricky because you don't want to go too over the top with, fuck yeah, America, waving your American flag and shooting terrorists in the face, but you don't want to go too, like... oh, I'm here because I have to, and I don't really like my country. Let's just kill some people and get out of here either.
Yeah. All right. So what?
Saving Private Ryan had a pretty good balance of that. I think is that the people in that movie, they knew their mission was FUBAR, but they knew that they had to do it because they needed to win the war for the sake of America, even though it sucked pretty much.
So what other movies were on that list that you remember?
12 Angry Men. That's a freaking classic. Right there.
Never heard of it.
Oh, really? It's it's an old movie from... I mean, it's been remade before. They actually had a really good remake of that movie come out in the 90s. I need to watch that. But it came out in the 40s or 50s, I think. And all the movie is... 1957, okay. And all it is 12 men in a room discussing whether this person they just saw on trial was innocent or guilty. And everybody thinks that this guy is guilty except for one guy. And it's up to this one guy who is Henry Fonda's character to convince everybody else that this guy is not guilty. And see, the thing is, I won't spoil what happens, but I will say that after everything that happens in the movie, at the end, it turns out it doesn't even really matter if this guy is innocent or guilty. It's about what they discussed in there and what they chose. They never reveal if the guy is innocent or not.
That sounds good. It reminds me, in fact, it wouldn't surprise me if Family Guy was based off it. You know when Brian says...
Oh, yeah.
It's exactly this plot. Because I've just Googled it because I remember it, but I couldn't remember exactly.
I can't remember the exact case, but yeah, Brian was the
So there's a Family Guy episode based off of 12 Angry Men?
Yeah, exactly.
I'd have to look that up later. I didn't know that. But yeah, there's been multiple iterations of it. There's been multiple stage shows. There's even been an all-female stage show, actually. Oh, nice. One of my friends was talking to me about that. It's interesting, and because one of the flaws of the original movie, if you'll even call it a flaw, was that because it was made in 1950, the entire cast was a bunch of white guys, And the plot gets even more interesting in the remake when you actually add a bit of diversity to the cast rather than just a bunch of white guys that do different things, pretty much.
See, on that list. 50 greatest movies of all time. Have you noticed that more of the modern movies are comic book movies? Or adaptations?
that are on that top 250 list? Well, there's a lot of them that are on there. I mean, I think Logan made like number 68 on there or something like that, and that was a freaking good movie. I'm not really surprised. I know Logan's on there. The Avenger movies are down in the 1 to 200s, I think, as far as I've seen. God, I'm trying to think of what other... I think Logan might be the highest rated superhero movie on that list currently. I could be wrong.
It is a good
I'd have
movie.
to look at it again.
I mean, obviously you got the...
Oh, actually, no, scratch that.
Redemption.
Scratch that. Dark Knight is number 4.
Yeah.
That's the highest rated superhero movie, and it should be.
A book as well.
Yeah. Adaptation.
And yeah, Shawshank Redemption was a fantastic movie. I'd seen that before I started this, but it's worth it. I mean, I'm surprised. I was actually surprised when I saw that to see that it's above both the Godfather movies,
8 Mile,
which I still need to see, by the way.
Yeah. Sorry, we're just looking at the list that you talk about, and 8 Mile's on number 9, and that was a very good movie. I like.
I mean,
I've
is that
seen clips,
Green Mile?
Green
Mile?
Mile.
8 Mile's the one with Eminem in it.
It's
Oh,
his,
I haven't,
autobiography. Well, what's it called when it's his biography movie, but he's playing a fictional character, but it's basically just talking about him, but they've just changed the names.
It's called
I don't know if there is a name for that, to be honest.
You sucky bastard! It's called a film.
I don't fucking know.
Yeah. Wow, I don't actually remember seeing that on that list. That might be one I have to check out. You said Eminem's in it?
Yeah. Oh, 8 Mile.
Interesting.
Really good movie. It's basically about his how he became who he is and how he started in the underground rapping scene.
Wasn't his song "Lose Yourself"?
Lose Yourself was
like the
nominated
theme
for an
for it?
Oscar for Best Original Song.
Wasn't that like the theme of the main
Movie,
song
yeah,
from
yeah.
that movie?
Very good movie. And if you hear in the soundtrack or just the background music of that movie, you can hear it building up as if like he's had it in his mind since the start of this movie, and he's just been building and building up. And I love movies like that. I mean, people dismiss 8 Mile because it's like, oh, it's gangster rap and it's not that interesting. But believe it or not, it's a very, very well written and very well crafted movie.
It's like people look at the main kind of idea of it rather than the little details.
Exactly. And like I said, you can hear this movie, you can hear the original song, Lose Yourself, building up and building up and building up till the point where it's in the end credits, and it's fucking amazing. It's one of the best. It's one of the best songs of all time. Not just rap songs of all time, but the best songs of all time, because it had such a huge impact, and the lyrics on it are amazing.
I will
Mom
definitely
Spaghetti.
take that recommendation and see it. Mom Spaghetti.
What do we
I
know
will
about
definitely.
Eminem?
Mom Spaghetti.
Had issues with his mother, and his mom makes spaghetti.
Yeah, no, I will take that recommendation and
Everything-
watch that later.
8 Mile, but everything is Mom Spaghetti.
So, shall we move on to the final topic of the day?
Yeah.
Yep.
Right, so the final topic of the day is what people are calling the adpocalypse on YouTube.
Oh.
As everyone heard this, it's a very, very, it's a very topical topic, which is very contradictory of what I've been trying to tell you guys. But I think it's relevant all round, because for those of you who do not know, who've been living on a rock or do not create YouTube videos, the adpocalypse is basically advertisers, like premium advertising, like AT&T, Coca-Cola, pulling out advertisements from YouTube because there's been a lot of media coverage about advertisements being displayed against very disturbing videos, such as people committing suicide or talk about committing suicide, discussing self-identity and like, are they bisexual, are they transgender, and even Islamic terrorism, like training videos have been monetized, and advertisers are freaking out because of the coverage on this. And it's like, to be fair, the amount of YouTube videos that have been going around or uploaded is like something ridiculous, like 200 hours every second, or every minute rather, a YouTube video is uploaded, and it's very difficult to monetize it. But what YouTube have done wrong is, when the YouTube partnership program first started, it was a very elite program to start with. If you wanted to make money, you had to follow certain criteria. You needed to have a lot of subscribers. You had to have a lot of views to even people, for even YouTube to think about it. But because of the amount of multi-channel networks there is, like Maker Studios, Full Screen,
Who are dead
Scale
now, by
Labs.
the way.
Yeah, exactly. Like so many multi-channel networks that YouTube just do not monitor it anymore. It's like, yeah, fuck it, anyone could do it. But then you see all these like little kids playing Minecraft videos. They're like 10 years old, and they're on a multi-channel network because they don't care. As long as they get the penny out of like their 10 view video of Minecraft being recorded on a shitty potato webcam, no one cares.
Potato cam.
To be honest, this is a very, very good thing for YouTube. Not just because advertisements get pulled off and loads of creators are losing money. Far from it. It is a way to make YouTube great again.
Oh God, don't use that. No.
Sorry.
Why?
Sorry, it was in my mind. I had to say it. But it is a way to make YouTube great again because...
It's mega.
Like, videos on... You arsehole.
Mega.
Videos are now just exactly what I said, like kids play Minecraft and on their shitty potato camera. There's no regulations anymore. It's no longer premium. No, people don't have an incentive to make good content these days. I mean, obviously, the greater content does get advertised more. It does get promoted and on the front page more often. But it's not good content anymore.
No.
Because YouTube just simply don't care. I mean, yes, now it has to be family friendly to get more advertisers.
Back to what you're saying about how they don't really care about what videos people post so they can get ads on them. Like, for example, we watch, like, 5-second videos and they have, like, a minute ad before them.
And sometimes you can't skip them and they're like 5-second video. And they're copyrighted material. YouTube videos need to be family friendly now in order to get to the top page or even consider getting to the top page. And you're not allowed to make... you're not allowed to make ad revenue or the revenue will be stopped until your channel happens to get at least 10,000 lifetime views. And that's a very, very achievable target to get. Both my channels have got 10,000 hits, so I've got nothing to worry about. But
mine has 6 million, not to brag, but, you know.
Don't worry, Jamie. Mine has none.
That's all right.
Don't worry.
Yeah, you make no videos. That's
I've got
why.
no videos on it. I've got 18 subscribers.
Shut up. But it needs to have some sort of eliteness to it. Because when my channels first got onto the multi-channel network program, I was so excited. Because I did not know I could easily just sign up these days. Because it was 2 years where they changed the rules. It was like, I was always under the impression I had to get contacted. Not me contact them.
Yeah.
So I felt like I earned my position, but when I found out it was just like a new multi-channel network just trying to grab my views, I was like, you bastard. No one told me this before. And it needs to go back to that. Because now YouTube creators are freaking out, but my multi-channel... I'm going to admit, I don't think I'm breaking terms and conditions when saying this, but I'm with Scale Lab multi-channel network. They were relatively new multi-channel network when I first joined, but now they're huge. They're like, what, in the top 5?
I heard they were decent, but maybe you'll say something.
They're very decent. They're very decent. If anything, I would say they're a lot more decent than Maker Studios or Fullscreen, from what I've heard.
Okay, well, I mean, I'm not partnered with Maker Studios anymore, so I could tell you right out that they were shit, and then they died. I regret switching off of Fullscreen to go to Maker Studios, pretty much, because that was just a giant waste of time, other than the sound library resource I got that I could have just gotten at Fullscreen anyway, apparently.
But these multi-channel networks say, oh yeah, we've got all these features, but everyone has it. But what I will say about Scale, especially Scale Lab, I can't comment for... anyone else, but the forums, oh my god, they advertise, oh yeah, speak with other creators, collab, earn revenue, talk to people in your but the forums are just people like little gamers saying, wanna collab with me, wanna play Minecraft,
Collab, bro.
Yeah.
Collab, bro.
Does anyone have a PS4? I wanna play GTA 5 and I wanna kill you and make videos with... That's not content. That's not interesting content.
I felt the same way with Fullscreen. It's like, you're looking on there. There was like a whole thread about, hey, promote your channel here. And there was nobody working together. It was just people saying, hey, look at my shit. And that was it.
Exactly. It's not interesting. And now that these regulations came in, we do have the opportunity now. Because I'm not sure how it is for other multi-channel networks, but definitely for Scale Lab. If you had less than the 10,000 lifetime views, you were degraded. You were still with that network. It just means that you don't have to reapply for it in the future, but it means that you cannot earn ad revenue from it. But you can be a community member of it because because you're with a contract, you cannot go away from it without a year. So that's their way of keeping the contracts secure for all of them and securing their rights. But what is the point in keeping them? Just get rid of them. If the rules their terms and conditions were based on what YouTube's terms and conditions were. If YouTube's terms and conditions have changed, get rid of them. Start fresh. Get rid of all these Minecraft. Get rid of all these Call of Duty 10-year-olds. Oh my god. YouTube just needs to change. And YouTube has changed for the better. And it allows us to make better content. It allows us to regulate it more.
I feel like people are never going to be happy, though, with what YouTube does. Because there's so many complaints.
Well, of course not.
About how they work.
Of course not. I mean, it's every time somebody changes something on YouTube, everybody's like, it's the end of the world. What do we do now? But, YouTube doesn't always, just make awful changes. I mean, they have in the past with, freaking, the caption system and, YouTube heroes and the copyright bots and things like that have all been terrible changes. But, I mean, we got this new, they turned off annotations and put in something better for that, and I'll give them credit for that. I mean, what they do now with that is a lot better. It's not so tedious anymore to put in whatever annotations you need to put on in a lot of videos.
But now that we've had these regulations put into place, videos about ISIS are now not getting funding. People about committing, not necessarily committing suicide, but talking about committing suicide are under review. Because it is a legitimate subject, people need to hear about it. I mean, obviously, people committing suicide and then uploading the live video should be demonetized.
It should be banned.
It shouldn't even be on there. To be honest,
it shouldn't be on there. But now that there is regulation for it, people who say, because for those of you who do not know, who are not a multi-channel network, who are not part of a multi-channel network, the default setting is to monetize it. And now, if YouTube videos are now being monetized, they will be under review, especially if they're subjects like this or they're known for subjects like this. And then self-identity, like the LGBT, I keep saying that wrong.
LGBTQ community.
That's it. I can understand their videos getting flagged are false, and they need to be a little bit more lenient to that. But yeah, if
people are talking about stuff like the LGBTQ community, I don't feel like they should be demonetized, because it's like, I don't feel like things like, say, mental health issues or self-identification, stuff like that, I don't think they should be demonetized, because it's a legit subject.
Yeah. I mean, one of my really good friends.
What I don't get is how channels like Prank Invasion, like the really disgusting kissing pranks, how they are getting ads on their videos, because it's just like it's soft porn. It's soft porn for preteens.
It's soft porn. It's so-called pranks. That's sexual harassment. It's wrong, and I know.
And the actors.
Yeah, and I know someone who is transgender on YouTube, and his videos are slowly getting recognised. I mean, obviously they're not going to earn ad revenue anymore, but he won't even be allowed to make ad revenue on this, because he talks about subjects that are, he's not being nude, he's not swearing, he's not talking about suicide or anything like that. He's talking about a legitimate subject that people need to hear about, because people are going to want to discuss this and find out if what they think, am I normal? They can find out from these videos, yes, they are normal, but they wouldn't even be allowed to advertise, so they would be shied away from making those videos. So, yeah. Right, so shall we wrap it up, guys? I think that is pretty much all of our topics.
Yep, and I just gotta put in that I don't think YouTube is doomed. I think we'll just be just fine.
Yeah, we'll be just saying.
Just a bump in the road.
It's just a bump in the road. It just means that people who are thought they were earning a lot won't be earning a lot for a couple of months.
I feel like this entire adpocalypse thing all started with the king himself. Pewdiepie.
I feel like
it all started with, let's face it, his Fiverr stunt when Wall Street Journal was just like, Pewdiepie is a fascist asshole. Like, it all started with that, and I feel like YouTube's just like, oh no.
Wall Street Journal, you bastards!
It all started with that, and I just think it's getting a bit sensitive with what they're demonetizing now.
Yeah, they're just overreacting. Well, it's not YouTube overreacting, it's the advertisers overreacting. So, yeah.
It's all about sugarcoating it.
Okay.
Really.
But anyway, guys, that has been the Caiminds Podcast, the very first one for a long time.
Woo!
It's been great having you.
Kermit Flail!
I've been Jamie.
I've been Sophie.
I'm still Tyranee.
You're still Tyranee.
I'm still Tyranee.
You're still Tyranee. But guys, thank you so much for joining us. It's going to be interesting hearing you back. Give us feedback on what you think we should do. Because this is going to act like a mini pilot, even though Caiminds Podcast is going to be here to stay now. Woo-hoo. It's just more of a case like, do you still like this new format of how we do it? So,
and comment down below who's a better sibling. Because it's me.
It's me!
Me. It's clearly me. Even though I'm not a sibling.
You
That's
are
why
our
I'm better.
adopted sibling.
We're adopting you.
You adopted me from America. America.
So yes, this video will be posted on the Friday, but the topics will be split up topic by topic on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday.
Ooh,
if we have a fourth one, it will be split up on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and a full video on Friday on YouTube. But you can get it straight on Tuesday from Caiminds.com, and that's going to happen with every video from now on. So, I've been Jamie, that's been Sophie, and that's been Peter, also known as Tyranee.
Yes.
Thank you so much for joining us. Have a good one. Keep on being awesome. Sign out.
Bye!